was more important to Vivian, like redeeming herself as a journalist or actually taking on like kind of a mother role to Anna? Do you feel at some point her mission was blurred?
Oh yeah, I think the whole thing is blurred. And I'm glad you're tapped into that, because that's exactly how I felt, and I think that's exactly how Vivian feels. It's she doesn't know what's more important to her, and I think she really would love to be certain about that, and so that's that just focuses her in even more on this one thing she knows, which is that there's this person that she wants to figure out, and all of the other things that she's trying to sift through in her life that are so uncertain. I think she wishes she could just put to the side and focus on something she knows is certain. Yeah.
I kept thinking, like, focus on your baby, Vivian. But were you able to actually meet the real Vivian to prep for the role? And if you did, do you know what her relationship is to Anna currently?
So so Jessica Pressler is who wrote the article that we've matched and based the whole thing on. She is one of our co-producers. So I certainly got to touch base with her during our table reads, and we, I would just always just check in and make sure that she's happy with the direction I was going in. But because we fictionalized Vivian, I wanted to give her plenty of space to be Jessica and see this as the story she wrote, as opposed to having to be Vivian for me necessarily. That was going to be my job, and so oh shoot, you asked a second part of the question. And I'm trying to.
And if you knew what her relationship is to Anna currently.
That's right. I do know that she was still in touch when we were shooting, but I don't know what's been happening since Anna has been transferred. So.
Got it. All right, no worries. Also oftentimes in shows and movies, I find myself like rooting for the bad guy, although there wasn't really a bad guy in this one, or several people think like Rachel was the bad guy, or Anna, or the bankers. So did you find yourself actually like rooting for Anna and hoping she would win?
Yeah, I think there's this part of me, and this is probably the mom in me, that like somehow roots for her to just make the legal choice.
Yeah.
Because you can do it, you can do it without taking the shortcuts. She's right about so much of the stuff. Like, you just have to do the work, right? And so then you're like, you do the work, don't go to Morocco.
She was so brilliant. It's like you could have actually succeeded.
Yeah. So you got to ask yourself deep down there, right? Character-wise, I haven't met the real Anna Delvey, so I'll leave her alone. But character-wise, you have to ask yourself, like, what's the part of her that doesn't believe? What's that? That's got to be deep down.
Oh, you went very, very deep. All right. That's all my time, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Arian, I want to start with you. Were you surprised by how dedicated Todd had become to the case? He almost like lost his family with his obsession.
Yeah, and I am, and I'm not. I mean, I think that's one of the amazing things about this show. I am, because I think that Todd genuinely believed that if this was a man doing this thing, they would have gotten away with it. I genuinely think that Todd believes that. And to be honest, I believe that. I think that actually does happen. I think it's true that I think she got so many charges thrown at her, while, the Theranos lady and Billy McFarland are still kind of like, So anyway, all this to say is, I think there is a big portion of that. He really believed that there was an injustice there. On the other realm, I think that Todd is kind of just like Anna, wanting to climb the ladder and succeed so that people take him seriously. I mean, the big blowout scene between Anna and Todd in the jail room scene in the last episode, we kind of see the two of them say the exact same things to each other. and they basically are saying, you are going to ruin my career. And then, I think Todd's a good guy. And I think when you see that she lost and everything is kind of like dwindled away through her fingers, and now she's alone at the bottom of a jail cell saying, I could have been someone, I'm somebody, I'm important. You can only humanize with someone that's that kind of lost and scared.
That's true. Okay. I feel like I was a little bit harsher than both you and Todd about Anna, so I like that perspective. And Alexis, throughout the series, the reoccurring question was, how did Anna pull this off? And like Arian was saying, maybe it's because she's a woman, but for me, it was like a blaring white privilege, and the continued support of her Black friend was very surprising to me. So just what were your thoughts about Neff's loyalty to Anna?
I think Neff is coming from a place where her exoskeleton is constantly causing people to challenge her, to lose faith in her before she even has a chance to lift her voice. And so there was something very, very real, deeply, deeply affirming about Anna seeing Neff as an artist, seeing Neff as a woman with her own ambition and dream, trying to make a film, trying to make it in New York, and saying, do you want to come to a party? And it's bittersweet, because Neff has been curating these fantastic experiences for guests at the hotel for so much of her, side hustle career, and has never had the chance to walk through the curtain herself and demonstrate the intelligence and the artistic ability that is just bubbling inside of her and waiting for a chance. So it is certainly bittersweet that it took someone with a different appearance to bring her into these spaces. And yet I think that is where the loyalty lies. There was something that she saw underneath Neff that looked like Anna herself, that felt like Anna herself. And I think that's where the bedrock of their real friendship lies.
I definitely agree with both you and Arian's perspective that she kind of found herself, she found people that related to her and connected to her. So I do appreciate those opinions. And Arian, were you able to actually meet the actual Todd and see if he had any regrets for how he went about the trial? And if not, were there some things that you felt like he should have done differently?
I didn't meet Todd until I was well into shooting, and he showed up on the day that I was interrogating Rachel Williams, in which I kind of wanted to turn around and be like, can you pick like an easier day, dude? Like, but yeah, I mean, so much of Todd, I think Todd actually really kind of killed it, to be honest with you. I think that in any other way, all of those charges would have been guilty. And the mere fact that he won 2 of those big 4, I think is a massive success. And by her not taking the plea and going on and trying to like defend herself, she could have gotten a lot more years with criminality. That being said, regrets, I think it's even the day that he showed up on set, the actual Todd, I was like, gosh, she really called you a lot, huh? And he responded by saying, she still does.
Oh, wow.
So like in March of 2020, he was telling me like, oh no, she still calls me all the time. So, that relationship never
wow.
Yes.
Well, Todd is better than me. That is great. That is all my time. So I thank you both.
Thank you, Paris.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you.